What's going on, guys? It's Dutch with ProdKult, back with another video. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Last time I did more of a beat breakdown video, but today I'm going to start with nothing in mind, nothing written, and just make a beat from scratch. The only idea that I have in mind is that it's going to be a Darkwave type beat. I personally love making Darkwave stuff. I'm super inspired by artists like Mareux, Twin Tribes, She Passed Away, Crystal Castles, and all kinds of other Darkwave artists. Personally, it's one of my favorite genres to make. So without further ado, this is how you make a Darkwave type beat from scratch. So I usually start with drums. It's just the easiest way to follow along with all of the other instruments and stuff. I mentioned it in our last video. I really love this plugin called Satala. It's just a super easy to use, user-friendly plugin. I've been using it for years and I just haven't really switched over to anything more complicated. I'm sure there's better drum machine plugins out there, but if you're using your own sounds or like sounds from Splice or whatever, it's great because you can just drag and drop sounds in there. So today I'm just going to use this kit that I have from my Roland TR-8S. It's a really great drum machine with tons of different sounds built into it. So I just sampled that kit and made these sounds and drag and drop them in. I'm going to keep the BPM at 120. So we'll start with just a simple kick. To quantize, because for this kind of music you want everything to be perfectly on beat. Next we're gonna do a snare. Next we're gonna do a bass line. I'm gonna open up Serum. In my opinion, Serum is the most well-rounded, user-friendly, and just overall amazing. If you don't have it, you absolutely need to get it if you're making any kind of synth-based stuff. It's by far the absolute best synth plugin out there. You're going to want to open up an arpeggiator. We're going to put that to 8th notes. And then we're also going to put the octave. Alright, let's see what we can come up with. And now to add a little bit of like a EDM bounce to the bass, I use this plugin by Waves. It is called One Knob Pumper. I typically set it between 5 and 7. So we'll put it right in between for now at 6. Next we're going to add a lead with Serum as well. So we're going to go down here to the bottom right once we do find a sound that we like. It's what Mareux used on The Perfect Girl, which in my opinion is one of like the better Darkwave songs I've ever heard. So I use this trick quite often. Takes it from sounding like this to sounding like this. To make that lead a little bit more interesting, I'm going to use a delay. My favorite delay is the Valhalla delay. And I just pull up this preset that I have. And then on top of that, I'm going to pull up the Valhalla vintage verb as well. And I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a high pass filter as well. Here's what that sounds like now. Next, we're going to add another synth, but a little bit lower to go kind of underneath that lead. Gonna add a bit of a low pass filter on it too, not too much, but I think we're gonna switch up the lead a little bit. I'm not loving the preset that I picked, so I'm just gonna go through some of these and try to pick something I like a little bit better. Maybe that. Yeah, I like that. That sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that lead and raise up the second half an octave, see what that sounds like. So I think that's gonna be like the base of like the chorus section. I'm going to copy this over and start up something for the verse. For now, we're just gonna have the bass and the drums. I think I might add like a guitar on top of that later on. Maybe something similar to this pad on the second half of that would be cool. Oh, that sounds good. Next, we're gonna do the pre-chorus section. So I'm gonna copy over the kick and the bass from the chorus. Let's copy over this for now. And then I'm gonna take this lead and bounce it in place. And then I'm gonna drag it over to this pre-chorus section. Add a EQ high pass filter, and then I'm gonna go down here to add an automation. And then we're gonna drag that up. Maybe we're not gonna have it go down quite as much. And you know what? I'm gonna actually take out that verse part. You know, I might actually bounce the pad in there with it. See what that sounds like. Gonna add a low pass filter to that too, I think. That's pretty much it for the pre-chorus section. I think I'm gonna add some guitar to just like everything at the end, but this is what that sounds like for now. And then we can just copy and paste this over. now that we have the arrangement for the verse, pre-chorus, chorus, I can just copy that over now. And to determine if I want to add a bridge, it's kind of up to you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but typically I'll just look at the time of the beat that it's at. And if it's like over 3 minutes, I won't add a bridge just because I don't want it to end up being too long, because you'll have to add a bridge and then another chorus, and at that point it's going to be over 4 minutes long. And nowadays not a lot of people have 4-minute plus songs, so for this beat I'm not going to do a bridge. So this would be the arrangement for the full beat. Now we got to figure out what to do with the intro. I'm just going to copy this chorus over to the intro. So I think what I'll do is I'll just bounce all of this together, similar to what we did for the pre-chorus. I'll just mute that for now, just in case I want to make any changes. And then we're going to add a EQ, low pass, high pass. And then go back to the automation. And I think I'm just going to do the kick to start. I'm actually going to high pass that kick a little bit. You know what? Maybe we can do some automation on that kick as well. I don't know. Let's see what that sounds like. Maybe not that much. Okay, I think we're gonna add some simple guitars now. So I'll grab my Eastwood matte baritone. For effects, I'm gonna use the Screen Violence by Old Blood Noise Endeavors for reverb, and the Super Chorus by Boss. And then I just have this compressor pedal called the Neutron Star by Moval. It's a super cheap pedal. I'm at a little bit of a higher part. So then we're just going to copy and paste that over to the second half. So for the pre-chorus, I think we're just going to copy over the chorus guitar. We're going to add some automation to this as well. then we just copy that chorus guitar over to second chorus. And then from there, we can just copy all of this stuff from the second verse as well. I think that's about it for the guitar. So unfortunately, after editing pretty much the whole video, I realized after I unplugged my guitar, something happened with the inputs on my interface or something and basically destroyed the rest of the video. It's completely unusable. Pretty disappointed because I didn't really get into any of the mixing and mastering and all the just final steps of this beat. But luckily I left the guitars to the last part, so I did pretty much build the entire beat, so you guys can at least get something from this video. My apologies if you were excited to get to all of the mixing mastering tips, but unfortunately this video won't have that. I just got myself a new interface to use just for my mic so that there's no way of anything like this happening again. So I promise the next video will go in depth into how I do the mixing mastering process and just how I finalize the beats. In my last video I did explain the mixing mastering process, so you can go check that out if you haven't yet. That's about it for this video. That's how you make a Darkwave type beat. If you enjoyed this video at all, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to listen to the full beat, I'm going to attach a link right here. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.